The Republican second stimulus package is debuted, and the question of the day is, are you a hero or are you a heel? Hey everybody, this is LALATE with a second stimulus check and stimulus package update for today as helicopters come to take me away. But I am here to dedicate you this video on the second stimulus check that is going to be coming to you, especially if you're on SSDI, SSI, Social Security, or Railroad benefits. Great, exciting news overnight with the Republicans after more delays than a bad wait at KFC. We finally have the Republican second stimulus package called the HEALS Act to battle the HEROES Act. It's like Tyler Perry with the haves and the have-nots have now come to fruition in Washington with the heroes and the haves, the heroes and the heels. The second stimulus check, it has a lot of stuff confirmed for you now, a lot of stuff up for debate, a lot of twists and turns. I'm going to be going over what you're getting, how you're getting it, what's still going to be up for the negotiation, when this could all manifest and land in your account, and what should you be informed and educated about going forward. Okay, let's get right to it. The check. The check for non-dependents. These are for individuals who are not dependents on someone else's tax returns. Agreement between the heels and the heroes. The heroes are the Democrats. The heels are the Republicans. That's what they called it. I'm not naming it for them. That's actually what they called it. $1,200 for all individuals who are non-dependents. Pretty easy. Great news. One check, $1,200. That is what they're both proposing. Now, ultimately, I'm not happy about that because you're not being given what you were promised. You're being not promised at all by both sides. The Democrats and the Republicans back in May said that you were going to get a stimulus check for every month you're on lockdown. March, April, May, they gave you one check. Then they said, we'll get to those other checks later this year. So now they're back later this year and they're only giving you one check. No one is keeping their promises. The other person who's not keeping their promises is the president. Less than a week ago, the president said he doesn't like $1,200 as an amount for the stimulus check, that he wanted to give a more generous check. That was his exact words. He slammed the Democrats' proposal for $1,200, saying he wanted to give more, seeming to suggest he's going to land about $2,000 for an individual check. But when he debuted the second stimulus package from the Republicans, gone was that more generous amount. Now he's back at exactly what the Democrats are proposing. So why the reversal? It's as though it's as though these groups think they can say things and we won't remember what they just said. Really disconcerting. But there you go. Non-dependents, $1,200, single check. All right, next question. Dependents. Under the first stimulus package, dependents who are adults, these are people who are 18 years or older, were not eligible for a first stimulus check. So agreement between the heroes and the heels, they're both giving those adult dependents a second stimulus check. Great, great, great news. I mean, this is really the best news that I could possibly deliver for you. I'm very excited for you because a lot of the viewers of this channel are all adults. You were not given that first stimulus check because you weren't eligible. This time around, you are eligible. But here's the rub. Here's the part that is different. The heroes propose $1,200 as the adult dependents' second stimulus check. The heels propose only $500. Why? We just don't know. A lot of the stuff I'm going to be reporting today, I'm going to explain to you when they say why they want to do it and when they don't say it. This is one of those situations where they simply don't explain why are adult dependents getting $500. I don't know. I don't understand their rationing. I don't understand why someone who's 50 years old, who's an adult dependent on their son's tax return, is worth $500 and not worth $1,200. I just don't understand the logic of it. But that's what the heels are proposing. Child dependents. So these are individuals 16 years or younger. Under the first stimulus package, they were eligible. They were eligible for a $500 check. So what's going on in the second round? Both the heroes and the heels say yes, the minor dependents will get a second stimulus check. Great, 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 great news. We have that confirmation. But then again, the difference of the amount. The heroes want to pay $1,200 to those minor dependents. The heels do not. They want to pay $500. So if you have a child who's 14 years of age and you're sitting back and saying, LALATE, how much is my child going to get? Well, the Republicans say $500. The Democrats say $1,200. Not quite clear what's going on. I will fully add as well, when I don't understand or I don't hear, I don't know the answer, I'm going to tell you this. And sometimes it's because they don't know the answer as well. What's going on with that three-dependent rule? Remember the three-dependent rule? Because I know you do. I told you that the Democrats only propose to pay up to three dependents a stimulus check. So if you have 4 kids, the 4th kid doesn't get a check. That could be very bad at dinner time. You're the one who didn't get the stimulus check. But that's the way the Democrats want to do it. How about the Republicans? Are they doing up to 3 dependents? Not very clear. I have not seen that. So if I see it, I will update it for you. That's the check. Now, if you're on SSDI, SSI, Social Security, Railroad benefits, Veterans benefits, I was the first one to tell you you're going to get a second stimulus check. It is now confirmed yet again that both parties say you're going to get a second stimulus check. God bless. We finally have that confirmation. You're absolutely going to get a check. Even if you're an adult dependent, even if you didn't get a first stimulus check, even if you never saw the first stimulus check, even if you're eligible for the first stimulus check, you're getting a second stimulus check. Let me make something clear because I get this question a lot. If I didn't get the first check, am I getting the second check with the first check? No. So they've clearly made abundantly clear that if you were eligible for a first check and it's missing, it's coming separate from the second stimulus check. If you were not eligible for the first stimulus check, you're just never going to get it. So that rub as well. Next, the issue about the delivery of the check. And I got a lot of great questions about that. So let me explain this to you. This is very, very important. The delivery of the check seems to still follow the tax return more than your benefits. And I've had this question off and on for about a week. The most common example is you are on benefits and you are 50 years old, but you're also on your son or daughter's tax return as a dependent. Who gets the check? Do you get the check, or does the person whose return you're on? It looks like, but it's not certain as of today, that the person whose tax return is on gets your check for you. How does this work? So let me use the following example. Husband, wife, no kids, but the husband's father is a dependent on the tax return. The husband would get an amount that of what the husband. Let's say the husband is the joint filer for his wife and for his father. The husband will receive at his address a check that covers both himself, his wife, and his father. Even if the father normally gets his Social Security check in the mail directly from the IRS every third week of the month. That is the way it seems like they're routing it up. Not to say it won't get changed, but they clearly can't get this clear. Viewers have been asking me, okay, husband and wife and 3 kids, do we get 5 checks? No, you get 1 check. 1 check for the husband that covers the wife and the 3 kids. Now, when would you get the check? Show me the money, LALATE. I'm not sending you the check. I mean, if I was, everything would be much easier than this hot mess. When would you get the check? Okay, now this is part of what's going to happen over the next 10 days. And I got to be very frank to you. This is where this channel is going to go over the next 10 days. As you know, August 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th is about when they have to get this bill passed by. Congress goes on vacation. Yeah, vacation again. Not this Friday, but next Friday. Now, Nancy Pelosi has said that she will hold her House in session until they get the bill done, but she has nothing to say over the Senate. What has to happen? The 2 bills, the heroes and the heels, have to be negotiated together. They then have to go to both houses, both the House and the Senate, to get approval. Because once the bills are combined or modified, they have to go to both houses to get approved. They got to do that all by not this Friday, but next Friday. If they don't, they have a vacation. And, they really got to take their vacation. And they just really don't have their vacation interrupted because America is suffering and being evicted and thrown on the street. They have to be sipping their Mai Tai. So how dare we interrupt their vacation? Yes, really. So that's the rub. Will they interrupt their vacation to help the American public, or will there be big trouble starting next Friday? Here you're asking me to predict, and this is what I'm about to say. I am inherently very concerned after seeing yesterday's Republican second stimulus package as to not the issue of you getting a check, you're going to get a check, but that this bill is going to get passed by both houses in less than 9 days. I sort of don't see it happening. I will see how fast we move in the next few days, but these two groups are really far apart. If they are so far apart and don't really show their cards and get this done, if it's not gotten done by next Friday, you could see big trouble. I'm going to fully tell you the bad news and the good news. The good news is if they get it done by next Friday, then you're going to see your second stimulus check funds in your account in August. You're not going to see them in July. You're going to see them in August. You're not going to see them in September, but August. Really, really great news. But if these two groups can't get this done with two really very, very different packages, then we're in big trouble. And ultimately, what I want to inform you about is the following. Look at the calendar. Next week is, the 7th or 8th of August. We are less than approximately 60 days away from the election for president. Does it serve one party or does it serve another party to not get a stimulus package approved so it helps their candidate or hurts the other candidate? Ultimately, and this is very, very sad, but ultimately your stimulus check could be a pawn in trying to help get one presidential candidate out of contention and another one into contention. You can figure out the permutations yourself. I'm not going to do it. Ultimately, what I'm saying here is the following. I'm not partisan. This channel is not partisan. The Republicans' proposal bill yesterday was hogwash. It's a crap bill. I'm not going to sit here and tell you it's a great bill. And if anyone says I'm being democratic by saying it's a crap bill, no, I'm just telling you it's a crap bill. It doesn't include hazard pay. It doesn't include eviction moratoriums. It doesn't pay adult dependents $1,200. It's a crappy bill. So we are sitting here on Tuesday with a crappy bill, and we have till not this Friday, but the next Friday to get a crappy bill combined with a maybe a bloated bill. Maybe some people say the Democrat bill has too much bloat in it. Okay, but it's not a bad bill. It's perhaps a bloated bill. But the Republican bill is a crappy bill. It's really, really bad. I saw the comments. I mean, literally every comment is a curse word. Everyone is really pissed. I saw the comments. I had to go through them myself. It's like, profanity. It's just, everyone is really pissed. So this is a really crappy bill. If the second stimulus package is not approved by next Friday, not this Friday, but the Friday after that, your stimulus check is not going out. Your stimulus funds are not being dispersed. You're not going to see the stimulus check in your account by late August. So what I want you to be informed about is the great news is you're getting a second stimulus check. The great news is that everything that I said on this channel for the last couple of weeks, if you're on SSDI, SSI, Social Security, Railroad benefits, and veterans benefits, you're getting a second stimulus check. All adult dependents are getting a second stimulus check. It's great news. The crappy news is that adult dependents for the Republicans is just $500. That's crappy. The other crappy news is that there is so much bad stuff elsewhere in this bill then I'm afraid your check won't get approved. Here's the other crappy parts. There's a proposal for a $2, $3, $4 billion new federal building, FBI building, put in a second stimulus package for COVID-19 relief. No, the building does not need COVID-19. The building has nothing to do with COVID-19. The building is not being used for testing. The building is literally I was about to say something very inappropriate. The building is really just a backdoor payoff to the FBI to get a building in a bill that has nothing to do with their damn office. So that is in there. There are things in this bill that absolutely should categorically not be in a COVID-19 bill. Those are that you will be able to deduct 100% of all meals you expend for the rest of this year as a tax deduction Okay, that's great, but that's a tax write-off proposal. That has nothing to do with COVID-19 relief. We're sitting here and we apparently have a lot of Republicans writing this bill who own restaurants or have restaurant lobbyists in their pockets that say, we want restaurant relief in this bill and we want it so that everyone who goes out to dine can deduct 100% of restaurants for the rest of this year. Well, it assumes, first of all, you have an income. It assumes you have a job. It assumes that you're actually going out to restaurants. So who is this helping? Big business. There's a lot of other stuff that's in this bill that is really abhorrent, and I'll be getting to it later today in the other videos. But Mitch McConnell has said that he wants to ensure that there's liability insurance, that you can never sue a landlord, a business owner for COVID-19 infections under this bill, and that's a non-negotiable. What I want to say to you as I sit here today is that over the next 10 days, what's going to happen with this channel is I'm going to be telling to you what the Republicans and Democrats are saying about the bill, where the negotiations are going, and what I think is happening. Ultimately, as I sit here today, we don't hear anything about negotiations just yet. This is very, very premature, except that Mitch McConnell says the liability issue is not negotiable. The Democrats say the unemployment, $600 per week, is not negotiable. And what I see and hear happening is the $1,200 dependent thing is negotiable. There's chatter already, apparently, that the White House does not like that adult dependents are at $500. Apparently, it doesn't think it looks good and wants to digress and go back to $1,200 for adult dependents, which is what the Democrats propose. I think that's going to get approved. I think this $500 for adult dependents looks really wacko. And $500, $500 for minor dependents, maybe you can make an argument for that. They're young little kids. They're 13 or 14 years old. But anyone that's 17 years of age and you're giving them $500 stimulus, that's wacky. It's hogwash. And so I don't see that happening. Ultimately, this is going to twist and turn over the next couple days, and there's a lot of stuff in this bill that should have been in this bill, a lot of stuff in the bill that doesn't belong. And if those parts cannot get worked out, you know what's going to happen. You won't have passage of a second stimulus bill package by August 9th. And if you don't have that, you don't have a check. You literally do not have a check. So ultimately, great news about the check, great news about adult dependents, great news that you're on SSDI, SSI, Social Security, Railroad benefits, you're getting the check. But troubling news about how far apart these groups are to get the check actually approved as part of a bigger package. And the $500 bit, I don't like. Ultimately, tell me what you think. Keep the profanity down, please, and tell me what you think. Do you like anything in this bill? What do you think about the president digressing from saying he's going to give you a generous amount to only give you $1,200 or $500 now, apparently? Do you feel deserved, unserved well? How about the Democrats who said they were going to give you multiple checks back in March and are back with a single check? How do you feel about that? I know the vast majority of the viewers of this channel have said that they want a check every month for 6 months of $2,000, and that one $1,200 measly check, which is a very commonly used word, and I agree with it. I co-sign. Measly is a very great word to describe it. It's a measly check is not going to create stimulus. Drop your comments below. I love to see them, and we'll feature them in tomorrow's recording later in the day about SSI, SSI, SSDI, Social Security benefits, and veterans benefits, answering your questions. As always, stay motivated, stay informed, stay educated, and stay with LA for more.